Hello, and welcome to the Northland Connection. In this edition, we look back at your 2014 graduates as they share their life verses. We also catch up with Jeff Knazer as he reflects on his recent retirement from your Northland Lutheran High School, and we look ahead as we share this year's Wildcat for a Day activities.
2 Corinthians 12, verses 9 and 10. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." I chose this as my life verse because it clearly captures my personal motivation in life. This verse takes every ounce of regard away from my life and puts all of the attention, glory, and praise on Christ. It is a verse that humbles and inspires me at the same time. God tells me in this verse that I have struggles and weaknesses in this life because He uses those times as tools to show His true power and His guiding hand. The verse also tells me to be boastful in this life. I want to be bragging about all of my hardships and happy to endure them because that is how Christ and His power is shown in my life. I love the concept of delighting in weakness. This doesn't mean just tolerating the bad things in life. Rather, it means that I get pleasure from persecutions. This seems crazy at first, but when I really think about it, the contentment comes because when I'm going through a difficulty, I know that God is as close to me as possible. What can be more satisfying than that? When I am at my weakest, my lowest, and my humblest, that is when I have true inner strength. At that point, I know that I have completely given my life to God, and my newfound strength comes only from Him through His grace. In turn, this godly strength is then useful to me to assist me in overcoming whatever hindrance is in my life. This verse causes me to humbly fall to my knees and admit my weaknesses, and then let God strengthen, motivate, and restore me.
My life verse has a lot of meaning to me, and it has for a long time. What was interesting to me is that in religion class, we were using a PowerPoint presentation to have some suggested verses, and my verse was listed underneath the hope heading. I wasn't expecting it to be there, but after I thought about it, it really did make sense. It made me realize that having faith to trust God to guide my paths is really hope for my future. This year, I have had some of the most difficult troubles and decisions of my life. When I struggle and feel like I am starting to drown, I open my Bible and turn to this verse, Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. I never really know what this world is going to throw at me, or what plans the devil has in store. However, I do know that God at this very moment is working for my good. It's not just when He feels like it either. God is always working for my good. What I find even more crazy is that I haven't done anything to deserve His love. In His grace, God showed me His love by guiding my life and keeping me safe, as He is still doing. I sometimes try to turn to things of this world to make me feel better or solve my problems. But when I remember that God is in control of my life, I let go and trust the plans that only He knows. He knows my purpose and where my God-given talents will be used for His glory.
Hi, I'm Zoe Moon, and I chose Philippians 4:13 as my life verses, which is, "I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." The meaning of this verse is that I can do all things through Christ which strengthened me. The Bible is a life-changing book, so many people go to the self-help section of the bookstore to look for magic solutions to their problems. However, most of those answers sit in the chapters of the Bible. It can give us insight, help us grow, explain our depression, and explain our behaviors. The Bible can make a huge difference in our lives. For me, Philippians 4:13 helped me when I was in hard situations or troubles. It keeps me up to go right way and motivates me to continue in my spiritual goal.
Hi, my name is Laura Weiland, and the verse that I chose to be my life verse is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for me?" And I said, "Here am I, send me." Some people wonder what the meaning of life is. People search their entire lives trying to figure out what their purpose is. Well, I know what my purpose is. I know that I was created by my Father in heaven to serve Him and to spread His word. This verse is a constant comfort to me to never give up, because there's always someone out there who does not know their Savior. There's always someone out there who's lost and needs to be found.
Looking back now after the last couple of months since I retired from my duties at Northland, it's kind of an unusual situation in how this moment feels now versus what I thought when I was contemplating retirement over the last year. But now that I've got a couple of months of retirement under my behind me, I've had the chance to kind of look back when I announced to the students and the teachers that I was going to retire, that they would not forget what I looked like, that I intended to continue to serve and be willing to help out in different ways, but that I believed that God was moving me in a different direction from my teaching and some of the other responsibilities that I've had. And now that I've been able to look back on it the last couple of months, I can see that God is providing me with other opportunities, but among those still are some of the ones that I've done in the past, and getting a chance to be involved in students' lives and help out in Northland, the faculty and the staff here. I've driven bus and helped take some of the sports teams in that, and volunteered in other ways, and I continue to look forward to being able to serve in that way. But in other ways, looking at some of the other time that I've had the chance to spend doing different things, I can also see that God is blessing me in those ways, that I have been able to spend more time with my family and also pursue some of my other interests that have taken up a lot of my time. But again, one does not simply just, what I found is that one does not simply just retire from something that has become such an important and wonderful part of my life. And because of that, I think I will always be drawn to come back and be involved and continue to support Northland in ways that I might not have been able to support it in the past. And so it's a great time for me to use this time to thank all of the congregations, the parents, the administration, the supporters that have been such an important part of my life over the last 17 years, for the great blessings that they've bestowed on me. But obviously the most important one that I'd like to thank is God. That God was able to bring me here to Wausau 17 years ago, in a situation that, again, it was I put my trust in His hands, and I never would have guessed the tremendous blessings that I've experienced over the last 17 years was something that I could come to expect when I first came here. And so I thank God for the time that He gave me, and also thank God and pray to God that the time that He has and the plans that He has for me in the future will also be rewarding for His kingdom, but that it will also include serving Northland in many different ways. So thank you all for that, and looking forward to seeing you around for many years to come.
More than 75 students from 7 area grade schools visited Northland during this year's Wildcat for a Day. Several activities organized and led by Northland faculty and students were used to show the many opportunities and blessings one can experience as a Northland Lutheran High School student. you for your continued support for Northland Lutheran High School. Please keep us in your prayers as we keep you in ours.